Mark, I read this Washington Post story yesterday, and it was something to read. It was a challenge to follow. I had to kind of go through it a second time. But I still have a lot of questions this morning, Mark. Where are you on this story?
Well, I want to know more about who was in this initial group and who took the documents allegedly to a wider platform. There have been reports that some of the people in the group were Russian, some were Ukrainian. That seems odd for such a small group. So I think there may be more to it. Those who want to say that the dissemination was simply showing off or trying to educate, I think it may be too soon to reach that conclusion.
All right, Nan. Yesterday, President Biden was in Dublin, and the president of Ireland, who, by the way, I don't think I've ever seen this gentleman before. I'm Irish. I really like the president of Ireland. Seems like a very jolly fellow. His dog was not a fan of Joe Biden, barked at Joe Biden, wouldn't let Joe Biden pet him, which I think says something. If you're a dog owner, dogs know. They know. Take a look.
Yes. That dog.
That's a Bernese Mountain Dog, by the way, Nan. Typically pretty friendly dogs.
Yes, that's a sensible dog.
It's not like it was a Rottweiler or something.
Yeah. Now, look, President Biden is, and Mark was talking about this earlier, he's on a remarkably prolonged tour of Ireland in the companionship of his son, who we know in 2011 had some interest in Ireland. That's one of the, I think, many emails on the now verified laptop. And his sister, they're obviously handling him. His wife, who usually does, is presumably in the United States. He can't even get his, he's trying to demonstrate his capabilities for genuine Irish blarney, but he can't even get his story straight. He was referring to the black and tans when it was actually a military faction called the Blacks, and this was a very sensitive issue in Ireland. He is continuing on his international embarrassment tour, and we have to endure this until the 2024 election, when we hope there will be better.
Mark, Joe Biden got into politics. His idol when he was younger was Bobby Kennedy, senator, former attorney general. JFK went to Ireland, and he was greeted like a conquering hero. The first Catholic, the first Irish president of the U.S. They gave him a parade in Dublin. You look at what's played out. All right, here's Joe Biden in Dublin yesterday.
Thank you all. God bless you all. Let's go lick the world. Let's get it done.
Mark, let's go lick the world. Is that the new campaign slogan for the president 2024?
I think it's an ad for Tootsie Pops, maybe.
That's an old term, by the way. Lick. My grandfather would say it was like if you wanted, I can lick you, fighting something like that. My grandfather, is passed away, but that's.
I found the duration of the trip. I can't think of a president I've ever covered who spent 5 days in an allied nation with no international events, just kind of going around meeting with people. I think it's unprecedented, at least in modern times. And the coverage in Ireland and in most of the American press has been quite glowing. There's a lot of colorful things on the trip, but in terms of the use, now rest assured he's flying home today, and of course he'll go back to work. No, he's going to the beach.
Is he going to Delaware?
Yeah, he's going to the beach tonight.
He's got to recover. It's supposed to be 80 degrees in
an awesome
New York.
job.
He's got the best
awesome
job. I don't know if he's going to have it in 2024. And I think that he brought Hunter Biden along. Look, Greg Kelly made an interesting point, Nan. I don't know if you caught this on his show last night, but Greg Kelly, or 2 nights ago, I guess, he said basically, I think Joe Biden bringing Hunter Biden to Ireland is a signal or a sign that maybe he's not going to run again in 2024, because now Hunter Biden's out in the open. I mean, he was working the rope line a day ago in Ireland. Hunter.
Well, this is the kind of trip you take as president late in your second term.
Right. When you don't care, when you're never running for office again, when you're looking forward to retirement and becoming a statesman. Nan, just give me a quick.
And you want to use the taxpayers to, have a nice trip.
Yeah. No, exactly. Nancy Pelosi's 82 years old. She went to Taiwan for a day and a half, and that's a lot longer flight.
But speaking as a physician, and I'm not an ageist, I think we put too much focus on age as opposed to capability, because capability is applicable to all human beings at all times. Joe Biden is an incapable man. His age has presumably, I think all of us are seeing that presumably the aging of his brain has been detrimental.
Yeah.
But this is about capability. But, when we think about age, we should also be thinking about, and it is bookending, and I think Mark may have used that term, but we have Jack Teixeira, age 21, especially in this era. Until the age of 25, that's neurobiological maturity. So how any 21-year-old could be given TSSCI clearance, which is the highest clearance that exists, when we are dealing with millions and millions of lives on the line at this level of sensitivity, that speaks volumes about how our federal government is distracted by a portfolio of jobs it was never intended to do, and we cannot even manage the main job, which is national security.
Good point, Nan. The video you were just looking at, by the way, that's Joe Biden, Mark. Joe Biden on his way to the airport there in Dublin. He's in the presidential.
This guy's not old enough to rent a car from Avis.
Yeah, it's not. You're right. It's not about chronological age. We always say that when we talk about Joe Biden's cognitive decline. When it's Dianne Feinstein in California at age 89, look, I think you're totally justified in saying at age 89 it is about chronological age. Nan, you're a doctor. Dianne Feinstein's dealing with shingles. People deal with shingles every day. And she hasn't been in her Senate seat. She's missed something like 60 votes. I want to get to this. This is Justin Pearson. We heard a whole lot about this gentleman down in Tennessee last week. 2016, he was a student at Bowdoin College in Maine, which is a fantastic school, by the way, but up there in Maine. And we're going to play you that video of Justin Pearson at Bowdoin in 2016, and then a video from a few days ago of him speaking down. He's a state rep in the state of Tennessee. And I just want you to compare and contrast the change in his presentation. Take a look.
I'm Justin J. Pearson, and I'm running for president of BSG. There are a few reasons that we're running this campaign this year. One has to do with representation. How can we represent all voices in a conversation? I wanted to do this by partnering with organizations from the Bowdoin Democrats to the Bowdoin Republicans. I want to bring together different voices, dissenting voices, voices that may be more liberal or more conservative, in order that we can reach a point of sort of the radical middle. Seemed like the NRA and gun lobbyists might win. But oh, that was good news for us. I don't know how long this Saturday in the state of Tennessee might last. But oh, we have good news, folks. We've got good news that Sunday always comes. Resurrection is a promise. And it is
All right, so Nan, we've got about 20 seconds left. Look, you're a politician. You've made a lot of speeches. Take us through what's happening here.
Well, they call it code switching. I would call it old-fashioned BS. All I can say is Eddie Murphy, step aside. This guy has quite an act going. But if I were his audience, I would be insulted. He's trying to appeal, obviously, to a voting group, but they should come to recognize that he's a fraud.
My thought when I saw it, I liked both versions, to be totally honest. I just didn't realize it was the same person, but I enjoyed both versions. Mark Halperin, Nan Hayworth, have great weekends. We'll pick this back up next week as always. Thank you.
You bet.